President Greco, Brother Nolan. Okay. President Greco, Brother Nolan, distinguished board members, dedicated faculty and staff, loving families, friends, alumni, and last but definitely not least, graduating class of 2021. It is an honor to stand here at the 16th commencement exercises of the Montfort Academy. We did it. It's hard to imagine that 4 years of diligence and dedication, of adherence and assiduity are coming to an end in a few short moments. However, the phrase 4 years doesn't quite give our efforts their due justice. In reality, those 4 years were 1,461 days and nights of meticulous, anxious studying for Mr. Haffey's bio exams, intense cramming the night before for Mr. Edelson's theology papers, stressing about whether or not Mr. Torelli would have a chemistry pop quiz awaiting us because none of us actually studied for them, and an overwhelming desire for this very day to finally arrive. And now that it has, I'm surprised to say that I wish I had enjoyed those struggles a little while longer. Enjoyed those communal moments of stress and enjoyed those frantic moments of cramming. Because in a few minutes, it'll all be over with the acceptance of a diploma and the turning of a tassel. It hasn't all been toil and struggle, though. It would be wrong of me to highlight all the work we've done without also highlighting the experiences which gave that work meaning. From time to time, we'd interrupt our hard work with well-deserved fun and relaxation. There were the big moments. Not so long ago, we turned what was supposed to be a minor water balloon prank on the teachers and underclassmen into a full-on civil war between ourselves. One moment, we were shooting tiny water guns at each other. The next, we were dumping entire buckets of water over each other's heads. I'm not sure how things escalated that quickly, but even Mr. Greco got his share of water dumping, which each of us seniors was secretly hoping for. After that, we filled Mr. Haffey's car with dozens of balloons and wrapped it with gold and blue streamers. Anyone driving past Mr. Haffey's colorful car would have believed he was running a clown entertainment service. He looked out the school windows, and at first, I bet his heart probably skipped a few beats seeing what had been done. But afterwards, he accepted his fate, and he said these famous words: "Do what you need to do." Sorry, but not really sorry about that, Mr. Haffey. I think it was fair payback for giving us a test in our last week of high school. There are also the small moments, which were equally as important as the big ones. For instance, I've always admired Montfort's unparalleled welcomingness. I might be making that word up, but at Montfort, there's always someone willing to help you when you're vulnerable, whether that be in preparation for an exam or you're in need of someone to help carry a burden. There's always someone ready to invite you in as if you were a friend of theirs for years. I'm glad to have called Montfort my home for the past 4 years, because very few other schools can truthfully say they've cultivated such a tight-knit, loving community of not friends, but family. From our freshman year to today, we've gone from being complete strangers to being one of the closest groups of individuals I think any of us has ever seen. Our time here at Montfort, through struggling together and through fighting with water balloons and through each and every experience, big or small, good or bad, has cemented our connections with each other as lifelong relationships. And for that, we are forever grateful. If you're anything like me, you absolutely dread even the mention of public speaking. Yet when I was informed that I was valedictorian and that I would have to deliver a speech, I felt strangely calm not a single butterfly in my stomach, and I immediately knew why. To stand here and speak on behalf of the most talented, intelligent, dedicated, and loving people I've ever known is the greatest honor for me, especially when I know that any one of you could be up here speaking just as well, if not better, than I can. Each and every one of you has impacted my life for the better, whether you know it or not. And if I haven't been able to do the same for you all over our past 4 years together, allow me to try to do so now. I'd like to share with you the most important life lesson I've learned here at Montfort as a parting piece of advice. I mentioned our 4 years have meaning, and meaning implies purpose. It is not only the purpose of a valedictorian speech, but a genuine wish of mine to return a favor. Of all the lessons instilled within me at Montfort, from learning what the mortar is and why it matters, to practicing virtue and service in every aspect of our lives, by far the most important lesson I've learned is not to take life so seriously. Now, I understand how strange that might sound coming from someone who is supposed to have taken life and school and academics extremely seriously. Yet that couldn't be further from the truth. I'd like to believe that my academic career here at Montfort was relatively stress-free. Don't get me wrong, Montfort's curriculum is extremely challenging. I mean, what would you expect from a school that still teaches Latin and Greek? I took them both and I love them both, but they weren't easy. It was that same challenging curriculum, though, combined with our studies in theology and philosophy, that taught me about the significance of valuing the single most important things in our lives: relationships. I'm not saying give up on all your dreams in life. Working hard at achieving your goals is a good thing, but it should never be done at the expense of your relationships with others. Because it is through those relationships that we have the unique opportunity to influence and change people's lives. Once you've worked your hardest at achieving your goal and have given it your all, there's no reason to stress. You've done your best work, and agonizing over it will only strain your relationships with others. Surprisingly, I found that I actually do much better in any of my endeavors simply by stressing less. However, if you do find yourself worrying about small things from time to time, remind yourself of this somewhat morbid reality that I like to use. When you're at your final moments in this world, hopefully many, many decades from now, what will you reflect on? Will you remember that you only got a 90 on that bio exam instead of 100? You might, but that's beside the point. Will you remember that you maybe didn't achieve the highest possible position at your job? Will you remember that you didn't get those extra few dollars on your paycheck? No. What you will remember and what you will value is your relationship with God, with your family and your friends, and how you've managed to make a positive difference in their lives. So if you haven't made the effort to thank and love your friends, and especially your family, I encourage you, just do it. Most importantly, if you haven't made the effort to begin your relationship with God and begin your path to spiritual fulfillment with Him, I implore you, just do it. Because there is no better way to end a chapter in our lives and begin a new one than with Him. We are about to step into life, and for the most part, we haven't seriously messed anything up yet. I know it's crazy, but it's all thanks to God. Let us continue that success with our hearts, souls, and minds, formed by all the lessons our beloved teachers have bestowed upon us, and with God at our sides, guiding us and paving our way to a fulfilling life. So when I say don't take life so seriously, what I really mean is don't take life so seriously that you don't make time for laughter and love. This spiritual lesson has been far more valuable than academics, and I hope I've now been able to impact your lives the way you've impacted mine. To my fellow graduates and classmates, for blessing me with the gift of your presence over the past 4 years and teaching me more than I could have ever imagined. I thank you, and it has been the greatest honor. To our cherished teachers for working day in and day out to provide us with all the necessary tools for success and pushing us on days where we did not want to learn, we thank you. To my family and to each member of each family represented in the senior class of 2021, for your unrelenting support and dedication, especially to my parents and to all parents who have worked their hardest to provide us with distinguished educations, all while putting up with our attitudes along the way. We thank you and we love you. And lastly, to God, for yielding us an abundance of blessings and happiness. We thank you, we love you, and we dedicate our lives to you. As we prepare to receive our diplomas and say goodbye, just know, it is not just we graduates accepting our diplomas. It is all of us who have earned it together.